Welcome back to Williams Hometown High Q. It is now time for the advantage round here on Williams Hometown High Q. In this round, each team is going to get 7 questions. 20 points is awarded for correct answers. And in this round, there are no deductions for incorrect answers. However, you want to get them all right, because if you get all 7 questions correct, there's a 25-point bonus waiting for you on the other side. First up will be our team from Albert Gallatin High School. But before we get to the questions, let's meet the instructor who prepared them for competition this week.
Our sponsor and our teacher is Mrs. Taylor. She's an English teacher here at Albert Gallatin High School, and she also runs clubs such as the debate team and academic league, and she's the best.
It's great having your students back on the show, and here's their first advantage round question. After Attila destroyed the city of Aquilegia, the survivors fled into the nearby marshes and later founded what Italian city of canals?
Venice.
Venice is right. About 2,200 feathers cover what type of small yellow songbird that shares the name with a group of islands in the Atlantic Ocean?
Canary.
Correct. Yeast, bacterium, onion. Of these 3 things, which one is a true plant that can make its own food?
Onion.
Onion is correct. A collective name of Publius was used by Hamilton, Madison, and Jay when they wrote what papers urging support for the Constitution?
The Federalist Papers.
Correct. It was more than a case of puppy love when an old dog named Argos recognized what legendary Greek hero who had returned to Ithaca after 20 years of war and wandering?
Odysseus.
Odysseus or Ulysses would have both been accepted. That is correct. Here's a math visual question for you. Solve for x if y equals 5.
X equals 49.
X equals 49 is the correct answer. Though he defeated Abraham Lincoln in the 1858 race for the Senate, what man, nicknamed the Little Giant, lost the presidential race to Lincoln in 1860?
I know, but I
He was around forever. I really stopped not. He was around forever. Yeah.
Henry Clay.
So close. Stephen Douglas was the correct answer there. You still did very well in that round. You went 6 out of 7, and your score so far today is up to 290 points. Very nicely done. Next up is our team from Charleroi High School. The scoring is going to work the same, but before we get to your questions, we also want to meet your coach.
Our advisor is Mrs. Gross, and Lacey and I had her in 9th grade, and then she became our librarian and is now our reach teacher. So she's been with us for a while, and we are just really happy to have her because she really wants to engage us and bring some new life to the program.
It is great having your students back on the show. And Charleroi, here we go with your first advantage round question. W.E.B. Du Bois was one of 29 leaders who met in 1905 to organize a civil rights movement named for what waterfall on the New York-Canadian border?
Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls is right. Buzz is not only the sound of a bee, but the nickname of what astronaut who was the second man to step on the moon?
Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin is right. Reptiles, birds, arthropods. Which of these groups of animals contains the greatest numbers of members?
Arthropods.
That's the right one. The Anglo-Saxon ruler Harold was engaged to the daughter of what Norman ruler who rather unromantically later killed Harold at the Battle of Hastings? I'm going to need an answer.
Sorry.
William the Conqueror was the answer there. Bookstores didn't sell any copies of The Great Gatsby until after the death of what author who had written the novel?
Fitzgerald.
F. Scott Fitzgerald is right. Here's a math visual question for you. What is the value of this expression?
116.
1/16 is right. The first president of the Republic of Texas was what man, later removed from the governorship of the state because he refused to join the Confederacy?
Sam Houston.
Sam Houston is right. And you went 6 out of 7 in the advantage round. You didn't get the bonus, but you're still doing very, very well with 360 points on the board. Very nicely done, Charleroi. Next up is our team from Fox Chapel High School. But before we get to your advantage round questions, let's meet the coach who prepared you for competition.
This is Mrs. Gibson. She's the gifted education coordinator here at the high school. So she organizes experiences like this, High Q, and other academic competitions around Western Pennsylvania, so we as students can excel outside the classroom.
It's great to have your students back on High Q and Fox Chapel. Here we go with your first advantage round question. Theodore Roosevelt was the first inaugurated in New York State. In what city named for a large animal that once dominated the American plains?
Buffalo.
Buffalo is right. A participant in the decathlon performs what number of separate events as indicated by the word decathlon's Greek prefix?
10.
10 is right. Enamel, collagen, dermis. Which of these is the chief structural protein of connective tissue fibers?
Collagen.
That's it. In 2013, we welcomed a new addition to the human family tree, Homo naledi, who had the brain the size of an orange and whose bones were found in what country where Pretoria is a capital?
South Africa.
South Africa is correct. The planet Uranus has a moon named Miranda in honor of what character in a Shakespeare drama with a stormy title?
The Tempest.
The Tempest is a good one to go with. That is correct. Solve for X.
6x equals 90, x equals 15.
Yeah,
X equals 15.
X equals 15 is correct. 1881 saw the assassination of both President Garfield and what Russian Tsar who had ruled since 1855?
Tsar Nicholas.
That is incorrect. Alexander II. And this keeps things very, very close as all three teams went 6 for 7 in the advantage round. Your score, Fox Chapel, for the day is up to 340 points. And it looks like the quick time is going to be the big decider and who moves on in the playoffs this week from Williams Hometown High Q. And that quick time round, that's coming up next.